Episode of Life Out Loud with Junie Moon. And that's me. I'm Junie Moon. I'm excited. This is something I've been dreaming about for a long time, to connect with people, leaders of our time that are making a difference in the world, people that are writing the books that we're reading that inspire us and motivate us, people that are touching our hearts and souls and enhancing our lives in so many different ways. Leaders come in all forms, shapes, and sizes, and they're doing so many different things. And I have an amazing, amazing person for my first show today, and I'll tell you about him in a moment. But for now, I just want to invite you into this journey, into this place where we can kind of sink into our humanity, what it's like to be embodied in this world, but hearing our spiritual calling of what it is we really want to manifest, how we want to show up in our lives. That's the work I do. The work I do is to help people embrace their humanity, but step into their divine calling. I do that, as many of you know, as being the inner critic tamer. I help people lower the volume in their head, the voices in their head that tell them that they can't do something, that they're not good enough, that for some reason it's not okay to be the way they are. And that gets in the way of people really shining their light. And the world needs your light to shine. So that's the work I do. That's the work that the people that will come on this show with me do. People helping people like you to really step into your power and to really embrace all that you are about so that you can really be the beacon of light that you're meant to be. So just real quickly, if you're interested in learning how to tame your inner critic, to lower the voice in your head, I have a free ebook. The link is in the chat box right now. It's a workbook. It's 10 powerful steps to help you unleash your soul purpose, to really get out of your own way so that you could live the life you're meant to live for you and for everyone around you. So without further ado, I want to welcome my guest because Alan Miner-Berger's in the house and he is an exceptional person. So I am going to put him up on the screen and I'm going to tell you a little bit about him. So welcome, Alan.
Happy to be up on the screen. Listen, I could just listen to you for the next half hour. I mean, that was very motivating and inspiring. So, wow.
Thanks,
I feel amazing already just from that whole little introduction.
Well, that's what this is about. This is about you and me hanging and talking and getting real. But before we go there, and I certainly don't want to be the only one talking. It could happen, but I'm not going to allow it. You'll just have to stop me, Alan. I want to let people know how amazing you are and why I chose you for my first guest and who you are. So let me read a little bit about who you are to everyone. So Alan Miner-Berger, he is truly living his passion, guys. That's why he's here. Since 1992, he became involved in what was called the inclusion movement, which I really don't know much about, but it's about placing children with disabilities in regular education settings with support. And Alan wanted to direct his own inclusive preschool where all children are welcome. This dream became a reality in September 2001. Wow, this has been a while for you. You have a master's degree in special education and early childhood, Montessori experience, a background in ethical education, and what's so beautiful is the desire to give young children the best education possible. Alan brings an eclectic background, which is what we're going to talk about today, about who he is and all the pieces he brings to the philosophy of his nursery school called Peace Through Play. He's been awarded with, he's gotten an award. He was honored with the Champion in the Trenches Award by the Child Care Resources of Rockland. He has 2 grown, wonderful daughters, so he knows what it's like to be a parent and bring kids up in this world. And he even has one of his daughters working at Peace Through Play for 4 years. That's crazy and amazing. He recently remarried. I have the honor of knowing his beautiful, lovely wife, Stephanie, and you both live on the school property. So owning and directing Peace Through Play Nursery School, which is one of the best experiences of his life, he says, as well as owning and guiding with his wife Peace Forest Sanctuary, which is another venue for us big kids. So without further ado, welcome.
Is there anything left for me to say?
No!
Wow, thank you.
I hope so, because otherwise I will be talking the whole time.
I'll see what I can do.
Well, I'm so happy you're here. So why don't we start off by like the real start? Like what led you to be who you are now, working with children? What drew you to this calling?
Wow, talk about big open-ended questions. Well, let's see. You know, my parents are amazing, and they're always very supportive of everything that I wanted to do as I moved through my life. And my mother actually also was an early childhood teacher, a special ed teacher, and I kind of followed in her footsteps, but not necessarily planning it to go that way. But I started out when I was 15 working with people who had blindness and other visual impairments. And that kind of put me on this track of wanting to be in the world of service to people. And so I worked at camps for people who were blind for many years. I worked for the Lighthouse in Manhattan for some time. And then you know, went through college, and when I came out, that was what I knew I wanted to do. So I started working for an agency, working with children who were had disabilities because of the rubella epidemic that happened in the 60s and the 70s. And from there, I found out about a master's program that just was exactly what I wanted to do. So that put me on a track into special education. And then, as you said, spending years there learning about the inclusion movement became very big in the 90s. And it kind of pulled me away from special education. I didn't really want to support children in segregated learning environments anymore. And so I was working for an agency in Manhattan doing inclusion. We were placing children with disabilities in regular classrooms, and I was helping to provide the supports to those children. And then this school just sort of came my way. Someone told me that they knew someone selling a nursery school, and that was sort of my opportunity. So that was in 2001. And I do consider us an inclusive school. I mean, we accept all children, you know, regardless of whatever they're bringing with them, and we make it work for everybody. And that's really our goal, is to do that. And I'll tell you, I took over the school in 2001. I was 45, and I could not have done that a minute before. I mean, everything in my life up to that point prepared me to jump in and do that. And I had a lot of support from people around me who actually knew how to run a business, because I had never done anything like that. But it's been, as you pointed out, it's been an incredible joy and passion. And I feel like I bring to it today exactly what I did the day I opened the school. And I really am indebted to a lot of people, especially my family, who helped to make that happen.
Wow, that's amazing. What a journey. And I loved the piece that you said about, you know, at 45, this is what happened. And you wouldn't necessarily have been ready before that. And I really believe in that journey, that unfolding for all of us, that things happen when they're supposed to happen. I mean, that's my belief system, that we're exactly where we need to be, where we are, and it's unfolding in, you know, spirit's time, or whatever, you know, language you want to use. So here you, at 15, started working in this arena and just kept being led. I just think that's amazing.
It was really good. And all those experiences, excuse me, were so rich, and they really fed me. And, one thing just leading to another, getting involved in the ethical culture movement. That was a huge thing for me, that I just discovered by accident.
Can you tell us a little bit about what ethical culture is? Because I'm just starting to hear a little bit about it from our dear friend Susie.
Yeah, ethical culture. It falls under the category of humanist movement, and it's really about. They actually call it a religion of relationships, because it's about human interaction and connection with each other, and what we bring to that, and also our connection to nature. And when I discovered it, it totally was what I needed and what I wanted, and it just was everything for me. And I became very involved in it. And I was living in Queens at the time, and eventually became director of the Ethical Culture Sunday School of Queens. I was the director there for 10 years, and both my daughters went to Ethical Culture Sunday School and graduated. And that just gave me an amazing foundation and basis in ethical education, and what we want to bring to children, and the values and the ideas that we want children to have to make this world a world that works for everyone. And it was wonderful, being a Sunday school teacher and being the director of that program. And I used to always say it would be great if, ethical education was, 6 days a week, and regular school was just one, because those are the things that we really want to impart to children. And, when I took over the nursery school, I knew that I just wanted to incorporate beautiful ideas and ideals for children to take away. And that's why a lot of the things that we do at Peace Through Play, a lot of the activities, a lot of the materials, especially the books, are all designed to impart, really good values to kids about how to get along, kindness, respect, and peace.
Right.
And I'll just say one more thing.
Yeah,
you mentioned that it's a Montessori-based program, and I spent time in a Montessori program over the years. And one of the things about Maria Montessori that I didn't know till I started doing some research is that she actually coined the term peace education.
Yep.
And she was the one who said, if we had to have true peace in the world, we need to begin with the children. That's attributed to Gandhi.
Right. I was when I was researching you, and what is it about Alan that I don't know? I mean, that was one of the things, that quote, and that it has been attributed to Gandhi. And what a powerful quote, and the impact of that quote, like what you're living into with the work you're doing.
Right. But Maria Montessori actually said that quote when Gandhi spoke at one of her schools. He had an opportunity to speak. They actually met, and he was actually quoting her in his speech, and that's how it got attributed to him. But I mean, that's the fulfillment of what we want to do. We want to start with children, and it's wonderful. We have such amazing families over the years, and bring the families into it, and just give children everything that they need to the best ability that we can. So that's really
where it starts. I mean, it's our children. It's where it all begins. And we always say our future is our children.
Yeah.
We were talking the other day about the work that I do. I work with the adults that have the issues, the inner critic voices, the challenges from the societal judgments, and how we're supposed to be and how we're not supposed to be, and all the programming we've had through the years, especially when we were children. And so it's like I'm helping the other end of the spectrum of the people that didn't have those really solid, beautiful messages that you're giving. You're at the starting gate before they take off. You're giving these children messages that they can have inside of them for the rest of their life, offsetting some of the messaging they might be getting in mass media, the other,
it is
adults that might be around them, the well-meaning parents. I mean, parents do the best they can, but they also have their programming that comes along, and suddenly they're saying things that their parents said to them. And so they come to your school,
Right.
And you're all about giving them this consciousness and awareness and connecting to nature. And it's, you know, this is the beginning of the future. And I'm so with all of that, I'm curious, Alan, kids, they're great, they're wonderful, and they could be really challenging too. I mean, you know, there are those days when we're not necessarily at our best because maybe we didn't sleep well, maybe we're, you know, we're a little under the weather, whatever it is. And I'm wondering how it is for you when you enter into your beautiful nursery school and maybe one of the kids isn't necessarily acting in the most peaceful way. I'm curious, how do you deal with that, and how do you show up in situations like that?
I mean, I couldn't have stated better myself your whole view of, you know, education and upbringing and how all those pieces, you know, affect us. It's all true. But, you know, we call it Peace Through Play Nursery School, and actually a very close friend of mine came up with that name when I was trying to think of a name for the school. And we wanted a name that embodied peace because of what we were seeing in children, and because children are so exposed to media and the mass culture, and a lot of that is so so hard on
Damaging.
Damaging. You know? And we're part of a whole campaign to work, you know, against the negative effects of children's media. But, you know, we were just seeing a lot of children bringing mass culture into the school and that playing out. So we wanted a name that embodied really what we were trying to do with children. And we wanted people to start to say the word peace all the time. I mean, that's part of this whole movement to create world peace. Is we have to embody it. We have to say the word and talk about it. And that's a big piece of what we're doing. But having said all that, I mean, Peace Through Play Nursery School is not always peaceful. And that's because...
Welcome to humanity. Things happen.
Exactly.
We get bumped, and our egos and our challenges.
Exactly. And all those things come into play. So the question is, how do we deal with conflict, and what are we teaching around that? So that's, of course, a huge part. And I would say the main thing we try to impart to children is to get them to talk to each other about something that happened.
Yeah.
Something that we introduced about a year ago is we have a peace rug. And it's,
I was noticing that. Yeah.
It's a round little rug, and it has a peace symbol on it. It's beautiful. And we roll that out every day, and we ask the children, did anyone have anything that came up today that they need to talk about and resolve? And it's just amazing. They get on the carpet together, they face each other, and they talk to each other, and, you know, they hug each other at the end. I mean, it's really very therapeutic I think for all of us, you know.
Sounds beautiful, creative, connecting.
I mean, we could all use some peace rugs in our home, right?
You think?
But it really is, it's, you know, that's what we're trying to do. But stuff does happen. I mean, there is conflict. There is, you know, grabbing a toy or trying to integrate into a group and it not working. And that's why we're there. You know, Maria Montessori also said the best teacher is the teacher who stands back and lets play unfold and lets children discover for themselves, but knows when to intervene, you know. And
you are holding this space for these children. You're giving them the opportunity to, you know, as you say, step back and allow this arena to flourish. So I'm curious, Alan, you know, this is the idea of peace. I mean, how beautiful, you know, we all aspire to it, to see it in the world. And inside, sometimes we're not peaceful. And, you know, I do believe Gandhi said something like, you know, be the change you want to see in the world. So if we want to see peace in the world, we need to be peaceful. Yeah. And so I'm curious, is there ever a time personally for you, you find yourself not peaceful, and how do you handle that, and what tools? I mean, I know you're involved with Thich Nhat Hanh, and you've got your yoga. How do you handle your moments of lack of peace?
That's really excellent question. I mean, I have to say that I am a fairly even-keeled person. Like you know, I kind of bring that sense of peace for myself throughout my day. but of course, yeah, there are things that, that I have to think about and deal with. And it is those practices, it's a practice of mindfulness. It's a practice of trying to be present as often as you can to what's happening around you and what are the issues that you're dealing with in any given moment. Of course, being married, being in a relationship, having daughters, and
Having a life, having a human experience,
yeah, and
all that comes with it, right?
you probably know parenting never ends.
Yeah.
My parents would say the same thing about me. It never ends. So it's that practice though of just really trying to come back to yourself, and I think conscious breathing helps a lot. And being around the children, and you're around conflict because you're seeing children in conflict, or something happens and you see it out of the corner of your eye and you have to react to it. Again, we all do react, and there are moments that happen that you wish you could take back. But then, it's what do you do after that? Like, how do you apologize, and how do you say you're sorry, or how do you
model peace? How do you model, be your, the human being that you are, that you might have overstepped or weren't in your highest, best place, to model what that looks like to the children, instead of some of the other modeling we see that's so inappropriate, giving them a very different message of how to be in the world when there's conflict.
And it's so important. They're observing staff interactions with each other. They're observing our interactions with parents when they come in, and trying to really create a sense for them that this is how we want to be in the world. That's really what it comes down to. But my own practices are just to really try to be present to what's happening, and pause for a moment before you might overreact or react in some way that you're trying not to.
Again, mindfulness, consciousness, awareness.
Yeah.
That's what keeps us in the present moment, with us able to take it all in without the quick reaction.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what would you say is your biggest challenge these days with holding this bubble of peace through play for these beautiful children?
I mean, the biggest challenge for me, is not related to the philosophy or the curriculum of what we do. I mean, I feel like I always want to do more. I can't do as much as I want to do around that. There's so many good things to do with children. I almost feel like it's frustrating that we can't even get to it all. The biggest challenge, though, is in some sense, keeping peace through play going in the way that we want to. I mean, just physical things with the building and the grounds and things that come up, because we're really large in terms of our grounds, and we have woods, for the children, and trails, and it's maintaining all those things, and as you know, we're involved in the fundraiser.
Yes.
Right now. And so
why don't you actually tell us about it right now? I'm going to put the link up for people, because one of the things, actually, before you say about it, tell about it. I actually put the wrong link up. I'll get it in a second. So when I started thinking about this platform with this show, I was thinking, great, I'll get these leaders and activists and people making a difference on here, and then they can do some sort of offer or share, their site or whatever, and give a gift to the viewers. And then I was thinking about this fundraiser that you're doing, and how it's not necessarily a gift for them, but my God, what a gift to give to the world by supporting this mission of yours, this passion of yours, to start at such a young age, giving these children messages of beauty and connection and love and mindfulness. So let me look for the link while you tell them what it's about.
I mean, thank you for that. That is so beautiful. Yeah, I mean, we're doing a GoFundMe campaign. I don't love asking people for money, but everyone tells me that's what I have to do. And unfortunately, that is what schools have to do as much as they would like to do for children. So we did start this campaign, and it's to do things to make the school as sustainable as possible. That's one of our goals. We do recycling with the kids. We do composting. And we teach about environmental concerns and sustainability. And we want the school to be that too. So one thing, oh, actually, I can do show and tell.
Oh, show and tell.
Yeah, we definitely want to get rid of the carpet in our big room, and we're going to put down cork flooring.
Uh-huh.
Look,
Ooh.
I'm peeking out from inside of here. Okay.
That's nice.
That's what cork, isn't it? That's what cork floor looks like. So we've been raising money to that's about $5,000, and then we have this beautiful forest, and as you've seen, for the kids, and every so often we need to do tree work in there, so we want to get that done. Our fence needs repair, so we're just trying to fix these things, and it's beyond what the tuition covers, sometimes, because we have so many.
Cost money, and people, running my own business throughout, many years,
yeah.
It's shocking how much goes into behind the scenes in providing these services to really make them happen and to keep them at the level that we want to keep them at. So yeah, I mean, beautiful property you have, beautiful space for these children, and you want to continue to make it as beautiful as possible for them to flourish the way they are. I mean, it's so admirable. It's great.
Oh, thank you. The other thing I should mention is that Peace Through Play Nursery School is a not-for-profit. So any donations are tax deductible. And I just want to put a shout out to one of the families in the school. They're connected to ShopRite in Pearl River, and they made an incredible contribution to the school. They donated $1,000. That was just that's so I just want people to know about that, because they have a big organic section there, so we're really happy about that too.
That's great. That's so
yeah, those are the things right now that we're trying to do. We just want to keep it going. We would like to expand at some point too and serve younger children. That would be amazing, to serve toddlers. I get a lot of calls for people who want to send their toddlers to Peace Through Play, and we're not licensed for that age group. So we need to create a space for that. That's
parents. I am one, even though my son is 19 now. I remember so much went into finding the right place for him. Where was it going to be safe? Where were the principles in alignment with mine? Where was he going to have fun and joy? And I mean, it's hard to find places that really represent the things that you are offering. And as a little sidestep, because we've been talking about the children and the impact of taking care of them and supporting them now for the future, what I also love, and I have to bring this up, is that you and Stephanie, your wife, have created what I consider a playground for adults. Well, your Peace Forest Sanctuary, and that's kind of how I met you, with your drum circles and your open mics and your live music and transformational work and yoga. I mean, it's such a beautiful offering, not only for the children, but for the big kids. You've given the full spectrum of possibility for all of us to play and have fun and grow and connect with what is most important.
Wow, thank you for that. Yeah, I mean, it's been fun. I mean, and the thing is, the thing that Stephanie and I want to do most, and this happens through Peace Through Play and Peace Forest Sanctuary, is build community. And that phrase, build community, has been with me since my days in special education and the inclusion movement, because that was a big push then, was to just build community. And that's how we help all people. And that's what we want. That's exactly what we want. And both of these are ways to do that.
So, I know we're almost at time, but I still want to know something. I know you and I can hang, and I can ask you a lot of questions, but maybe some other people have this curiosity too. When we're growing up, we have our experiences that shape us, right? And that's what you're offering to these children. And so, like, for me, when I was in middle school, I was bullied terribly, and I went through so much self-doubt and questioning my value, and through my painful journey through adulthood, carrying all that with me, led me to my transformational work, led me to offer to people what I have now, which is way more self-esteem and groundedness and happiness and joy. So I'm
beautiful, let me say.
I'm sorry?
So beautiful what you do and who you are.
Thank you. Thank you. I love what I do. So, and I see that you love what you do. And so I'm wondering, and I met your parents. Your parents, I was so blessed to meet them. Lovely, lovely people. And I hear that they were supportive and golden in so many ways. I'm wondering, when you were growing up, did you not get what you're giving to these children in the arenas, your nursery schools or your education? Was there something in your childhood that made you say, I need to bring more peace to the world because you experienced something different? And I'm just curious, what really kind of got you started from an early age, if there is something in particular?
Great question. I wouldn't say that it was from my earliest years, but I would say that I'm a product of, I always say I was born on the cusp of the 60s. I mean, I was born in 56, but I came of age, let's say, as a teenager, the end of the 60s, beginning of the 70s. And that was such an influential time around the peace movement. And also the women's movement, the feminist movement had a huge impact on me. So really, I feel like those were the movements that shaped me. My parents were just incredible because they kind of went with the times, and they would just...
How cool. I mean, I told you, your parents were amazing.
They just kind of, they saw what was happening and they saw how it was affecting me, and they just went with it. There wasn't a lot of, butting heads about some of the things that were going on. And I think that just gave me the freedom, to grow into that. And so I always had that basis of that there was a peace movement that came out of the 60s, and that was always with me. And I went into, the field of service, serving people, and it all kind of just snowballed. I mean, and then, of course, reading Thich Nhat Hanh, the first book I ever picked up in 1992 was Peace is Every Step, and that really had a tremendous impact on how to internalize peace and then bring it to the world. So,
Thich Nhat Hanh, for those of you who don't know, and please correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't know that much about him, but he's a Tibetan monk, right? Or Vietnamese, is it?
Vietnamese Buddhist monk, yes.
Vietnamese Buddhist monk, and I've read some of his work. In fact, I was just Monday night at a meditation group that uses his work and as a guide. It's something that the messages that Thich Nhat Hanh, or Thai, people call him Thai, bring forth is so beautiful. It's all about peace. It's all about awareness. And I'm not anywhere near the authority of his work, but boy, if you haven't looked into his work, guys, I highly suggest you grab a book. And which one would you suggest as maybe a good start?
I think the best one to start with is Peace is Every Step. That was really the book that made him very popular in the States. And it's so accessible. And it's beautiful practices for how to bring peace to yourself and how to be in your body and in your mind. And you just embodied it right there, see? Yeah,
exactly. In fact, when I took that breath, I was like, I was feeling the energy, excitement of being here with you, and that, and that's what happens. We get engaged in our life and we're talking with people, and to just take a moment. And in fact, if you would indulge me, let's just take a moment and take a breath. Invite you all to join us to just be here now. The power of the moment, the power of the breath. It's profound.
I just want to speak to that for 1 second, because when I first opened the school, and I still pretty much wear many hats, but, I was wearing all the hats, and it was wonderful. I was into every moment of it, but there were times where, a parent was coming to visit. I wanted everything to be perfect, and, I wanted, the staff to know what was happening, or I want everything to be flowing beautifully. And I remember feeling, oh my God, this is very intense. And I would just take some beautiful deep breaths, and I would come right back to a sense of it's all beautiful, it's all good, I can do all this. And it gives you another way of coming back to yourself and realizing that you can really do whatever it is you need to do.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's
You
great.
really can do whatever it is. And I truly believe that. And again, I always tell people, if we just clean off our souls a little bit, the gook that we've accumulated,
Mm.
that we can truly shine.
And we
You
can't
know, and
practice. It's just an everyday practice.
practice. And you mentioned wearing lots of hats. So I'm going to take a chance, Alan, knowing that you're about peace and about play. And I am going to give you a hat. Let's see if I can do this. I'm
All
new
right.
to.
I thought you were going to make me sing. Just don't make me sing.
Oh, it's not working. All right, no singing. I'm
I
trying
don't sing in front of children.
to put a hat on you.
Oh my God, you're
It's not
amazing.
working. I was playing.
Well, it's on you. I see it on you. It's beautiful.
Wait a second. I want it on
love
you.
it.
Oh, there I am.
Yes.
All right, maybe I need to give you the king
And it's
hat.
great because it looks like a cat in a hat.
Oh, maybe only you could put the hat on. See, I don't have as much power.
That's so great. Look at that.
All right. Well, I'm
You
seeing
are a master.
and I don't even know how to get the hat off at this point.
It's working.
Alan, it was such a treat. I'm so blessed to share who you are, what you're about to everyone. I can't believe I have this.
It looks great. It's perfect.
It is. It even follows me. See?
Yeah, I know.
It's all about joy, and it is all about play and just childlike spirit. May we all bring that forth. I get the honor of being your friend and spending time with you, in addition to admiring your work and enjoying all the offerings you have. I wish my son had the opportunity to be in a school like yours, and as we all know, where unfolding perfectly, and he had his journey and his teachers and some beautiful teachers. I just really want to honor the work that you're doing, and remind everybody also to look at the link for the GoFundMe. It's going on for I think through Labor Day, right? You said?
Yeah, maybe even a little longer. Some people are convincing me I should do it a little longer because it's summer and people are away, but we'll see.
Yeah. So, yes, were you going to say something else?
Yeah, I was just going to say that the feelings are completely mutual. I mean, I really admire you and honor you for all the work you do, and your incredible enthusiasm is just, it's infectious. So thank you. And thanks for this opportunity so much.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. I'm still laughing at my hat, but
I love it.
That's what it's all about, right?
It's better on you than me, I think. So it's good.
Well, I wanted to see it on you, but I wanted to see both of us in hats. So
All right, well, you'll have to perfect that one.
Yeah, I'll have to work on the tech. Hey, I think we did pretty well for first time out. And I want to thank you again for being my guest, and to thank everybody that's watching. May you take some of these golden nuggets of wisdom from Alan about peace and mindfulness, and just enjoy your life and breathe and just be well. So thank you, Alan. Thanks for being here, and have a beautiful day, guys.
All right. Bye.
Bye.